Hey guys, this is John from Kahnawake CrossFit. Very cool challenge that was just released from KSCS. It was pretty cool for them to reach out and collaborate with us, Kahnawake CrossFit. They also collaborated with the KYC and Strongman, Kahnawake Strongman. So first thing I want to do is basically acknowledge how cool this challenge is. I already see a lot of people getting into it on social media. They're sharing their push-ups, they're sharing their numbers that they're doing. It looks like there's a lot of hype. Keep that hype up. And one thing I've been telling a lot of members today is like in the beginning, usually things are pretty easy to do. It's driven by excitement and motivation. But what's going to be the challenge for most people is keeping it going. Maybe like halfway through, that's when I would usually come in and check in and make sure everybody's still on the right track. So if you can look at the push-up challenge, push-up Kahnawake challenge, check it out. Everybody can do it. And that's basically what I'm going to go through right now is how everybody can do it. So there's different ways of doing push-ups. I'm going to show that to you guys, and maybe this can be the first time you've ever done a push-up, and let's take it for a ride. Let's see. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is show you actually the purpose. So what is the purpose of this? I think each of these organizations, KYC, KSCS, and Strongman, they can have their own unique purposes. Ultimately, it's all related. We're all trying to get people to start moving, or at least show people that they can move. And it really doesn't take a lot of time to start actually changing your life for the better in terms of your fitness than most people assume. So like you don't need an hour, you don't even need 20 minutes. The workout that I'm going to show you or the type of way that you do your reps is 10 minutes or less. So all you really need is 10 minutes. I'd say like 7 to 10 minutes for if you want to really be exact on the numbers today. So how do we do that? What if I can't do a push-up from the feet? Or what if I only know how to do two types of push-ups, which is from the knees or from the feet? So usually what happens is people don't have enough information to actually figure out what exactly they should be doing in terms of their exercise. So just because somebody can't do a full push-up on the feet, for example, doesn't mean that they shouldn't do push-ups. Your push-up is essentially you're taking your body weight and you're trying to control it from the down or the floor position all the way up. And everybody is able to do that, but most people don't really have the knowledge to figure out how to do it. So that's what I'm going to go through. So to make it simple, what we want to do to be able to do the push-ups is we're basically going to go from the hardest version of a push-up, I would say, and I think it was released with this challenge, was the most difficult version that people could select from is going to be having your body completely parallel with the floor. So like I'm actually on the floor, my feet are out, and I'm doing push-ups chest to the floor and back up. That would be the hardest version of this. Basically, all we have to do is take that and kind of create, I guess, take ourselves into a vertical position. We want to bring ourselves up. And the more we can bring ourselves up, the less resistance we have on ourselves. And maybe the more likely we can actually do a full push up, which is going to be from the top position. So let me show you. We're going to go on the floor. So a full push up would be from the top position. We're going right to the floor. And I push all the way back up. So we're not really worried about whether I'm doing it on the feet or on the knees. We're actually more concerned about the type of exercise that this is for the upper body. So we're not just worried about using the muscle. We also want to use it properly. One thing I will say when it comes to exercise and what I teach at Kahnawake CrossFit is that full range of motion is actually more important than, we'll say, resistance or intensity or load. So what that means is, let's say I go back to the floor and I can do a push-up from the feet, yes, but I only go this low and then I push back up. So compared to that push-up that I've done previously, that range of motion is actually very short and there's not much. So that means I'm actually not going to strengthen my joints properly. I'm actually not taking advantage of what I can essentially do in training. I'm not taking full advantage of what I can do here. So what I should do instead is find a way. Maybe I can't do it this way, but maybe I can go to the knees, go right to the floor and come back up. That would be a lot better for me. And it's not easier. Okay. That's very important for people to distinguish is just because you're doing a push-up from the feet and then maybe it looks like that where we're not going all the way down, it doesn't mean that it's easier. If anything, with this knowledge of knowing how range of motion is important or the most important thing, you should be able to identify that that's obviously not the right answer. So the right answer would be figuring out how I can still create that full range of motion to the floor and back up. So we need to be able to hold on to that. If I can't even do that like this, from the knees and on the floor here, all the way down to the floor, what we can do is we can find a higher surface. The Smith machine actually works beautifully for what I want to do right now. Because what I'm going to do is set the bar up high enough to where I'm almost standing up, but now I could actually work. Let me put it a little bit lower. But now I can still follow that chest to the floor and that arms all the way back up. This is more important. The range of motion, being able to perform full range and do what basically do what my muscles are made to do versus this. So in terms of scaling and figuring out what you should do, what I would suggest if you're doing this challenge is to choose one of these styles of push-ups or choose your scale that allows you to do 10 or 8 to 10 reps, making sure we go arm straight, we go down all the way, chest to the bar, chest to the floor, whatever surface you're using, chest to the couch, chest to the dresser, right? Anything. We go down, come up, all the way. Too easy. Maybe I can go down a little lower. My surface is a little bit lower. Go down, a little bit more resistance. That feels better. But I'm still following that very, very important piece where I have my full range of motion. Let's go a little lower. Can I go lower? Yes, I can go lower. I try it. Okay, that's not working. I can't go all the way down without coming back up. So I'm going to come back up here and find scale that allows me to do the full range of motion. So information, take that information and apply it, right? All right, so the next move, guys, would be, now that you know the scales, let's figure out how we can put something together that creates a little bit of like, there's something in CrossFit where I say that we have to program a little bit of like a fun factor to the workouts, something that actually looks like, I mean, you look at these workouts sometimes and they don't look that fun. So we have to make it seem somewhat appealing. And usually what that means is you need to be able to look at it and it has to seem like it's doable for you. Like, you know, it's going to be a challenge, but you're like, I think I can do that. That feeling that you get when you look at a workout, it's a good feeling. If you look at a workout and you're like, I don't know if I can do that, we have to change something. Okay. So let's figure it out. So what we'd have to do to get, I believe the number per day, actually it might be more now. It might be like 100 per day starting today that you have to get to 2,000 push-ups. So we don't have to go with 100, but let's say I want to do 50 push-ups today. That's my goal. I want to do 50 push-ups. Very cool way to do it. You don't got to think. You only need 10 minutes. What you're going to do is you're going to set a clock, and every minute on the minute, so the first minute, I'm going to do 5 of my selected push-ups. So whatever felt good for me with the range of motion and obviously the intensity, meaning I can keep going with this. It's not too intense. 5 push-ups at a time. And what I do is I rest for the remainder of that minute until the next minute hits. And then I do another 5. In 10 minutes, I would be completed 50 push-ups. So as long as you get that work done, you pretty much know exactly how much push-ups you're going to do. Do some math. If I want to do 70 push-ups, I'll need to do 7 every minute. If I want to do 80, I'll need to do 8 every minute. Yeah. So guys, last few things you probably want to do now is figure out, now that you have your workout, now that you have your scales, how many reps are you going to do? So the challenge is 2,000 push-ups. Now, let's not feel like you have to do that. Let's not feel like if you don't do 2,000, it's not as valuable. If you participate in this challenge, it's just as valuable if you do 2,000 or if you don't. Because what I'm trying to do, I think what the other organizations are trying to do here is motivate people to understand that they can start moving and you don't need a lot of time. Like I said, 10 minutes, you banged out your push-ups and you did something today to invest in your fitness. So in terms of the reps, see if you can hit the 2,000. I do have somebody that's actually aiming for 3,000 in the class, in CrossFit classes. I didn't really ask any questions, but he can do that if he wants. If you hit the 2,000, excellent. But if you don't, I would probably request from somebody if they weren't able to do 2,000 was as long as you felt like you tried your best, that that is more important. I know it sounds cliche and kind of cheesy to say that, but when you figure out that you can actually control what you want with your fitness, you can apply that to other things. So see if you can just try, and maybe you can set your bar lower if you want. You can go to 1,000 first, and then if you get to 1,000, well, you still got time to do more. You get to 1,500, maybe you got to 1,500, you still got 10 days left. Go for it. Just try to figure out and stay consistent. Okay, so that I think that's what I would what I would feel good about is just the attempt and trying it, even if it's only 5 a day. Everybody can do push-ups, as I just demonstrated to you.